It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brouhaha. Marshall Wood and Dale McKee, ready to go again in another week. How's everybody doing out there in Brouhaha land? How about you, Dale?
I think everybody's doing good. I think let's see, Ole Miss and State are the first. They're both 4-0 for the first time in 11 years.
Well, wasn't that when the first time the polls came out and they were ranked 1 and 2 and it said Mississippi Madness? I bought a copy of that Sports Illustrated and still got. That's probably the Sports Illustrated column right there.
Yeah.
But I got that. I remember that. So I guess that's the same thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, they probably not going to be ranked 1 and 2 this time.
I don't think neither one will be 9-0 this year. Especially
was that what they were when the first rankings came out?
Yeah, when the State was 9-0, Ole Miss might have been. I think they were ranked third. I'm not sure. I think they had beat somebody, and then Florida upset them.
Yeah, Florida's not upsetting anybody right now, are they?
No,
except themselves.
Yeah, they're having a tough time down there.
Yeah.
You know.
What's Billy's buyout?
I think he said it's what, 27 million.
Oh, yeah, he's a goner.
Something maybe.
It's not like Dabo's. Dabo's, I think, is about 65.
Yeah. Well, you know I think Saban said it really good about Dabo. He kind of hinted away that you got to change. You know, you can't keep doing things like you did because of the climate of college football now.
Yeah.
And I think he was sending Dabo a medicine. Well, he was trying to give him some, make him feel better. But you know, hey, you got to change with the times. You either buy in with NIL or you're not.
Yeah.
You know, because I saw where Carson Beck, the Miami quarterback that played at Georgia last year, he said it's all about the money.
Yeah.
And he's making $4 million down there. He said he didn't go to the pros because he knew he can make more at Miami.
Yeah.
And he said, really, it's better to play college as long as you can now.
A kid goes down there and makes $4 million playing college football.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to work another day in his life if he knows how to manage his money.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, and I don't know what kind of pro Carson will be. You know, I'm not sure.
Well, may not matter if he plays another year.
No, I'm just saying, you know, I mean, I think he made the right decision.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have left Georgia because they just, you know, they're just a great tradition of winning and you know, and we'll see Saturday night. I thought Georgia made a statement when they went up to Tennessee, and I think Alabama is if they had a hard time in Tallahassee, they're gonna have a much harder time in Athens this weekend.
You sure Florida State's just not that good?
Well, I'm just talking about this game's going to be at night.
Yeah.
And Georgia fans will be prepared for the game.
Will they?
Yeah.
How do they get prepared for a game?
Well, I'm going to leave that to your imagination.
Yeah. What do they get like? What do they just?
Well, I mean, you know,
it's drunk or what?
Well, it's not going to be hot.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be a little bit cooler at nighttime.
Yeah.
And the fans won't be so irritable like they are at 11 or 2.
Oh.
Now, I think the players are quicker at night games than they are day games because really what you're trying to do during the day games in SEC, you're trying to survive.
Yeah.
You know, you better have plenty of depth at 11 o'clock or 2:30 or what time it is that you play, especially in August and September.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't see how they do it. It's just terrible hot out there. It's terrible. What are you doing over there, Dale? Have you hurt yourself?
Not
Bleeding all over the place over there?
No, don't worry about that. we'll let Medicare take care of it.
I got a cowbell there if you want to ring it.
No.
That may make you feel better.
No, that's all right.
I'm sure that'd really help.
Oh, yeah. It really would.
I came across something today.
Okay.
And it's let's see if I can find. Let's see what time it is here. We got a little more time. it's something about Mississippi and NIL. In Mississippi, NIL, they say the next frontier for NIL is high school. And high school is one of the, well, I guess Mississippi's not going to allow that. And that's one of the few states. For example, let's say some of the impact, you probably know more about this than I do. I just did a cursory review of it a little while ago. A kid from Mississippi just committed to LSU. But guess what? He decommitted. Because he can't take they don't have high school NIL. And so he can't get the money. So he's going to Ole Miss. Have you read any of that?
Oh, I saw where he decommitted. I didn't know why.
Well, one of the reasons is Mississippi does not allow high school NIL, so they can't. LSU couldn't give him any money.
You know, now listen, I'm just telling what I hear.
Yeah.
The private schools in Jackson do supposedly a couple of the larger ones up there. They have kind of a trust fund.
Yeah. Well, that's nothing new, Dale. The Academy's been doing it for years.
Yeah, for the trust fund. Yeah. So I don't know if the smaller ones can afford it, but I'm sure that some of those larger schools up there, and they seem to have great players.
Yeah, they
great players.
Well,
kind of like McCauley and Baylor.
Oh yeah, I know how that works.
Okay.
And I mean, they don't hide it. They don't have to. I mean, they're private.
Yeah.
And if you go around and look at the number one, the highest ranked teams in the country in football, a lot of them are private schools and a lot of them have dormitories like Baylor McCauley do, so they can recruit and they can pay their players and they can. I mean, they get a $70,000 a year education free. I mean, so they got a lot to offer.
I got you.
I liked your write up on there about the McCauley and the Heidelberg deal. Heidelberg may go up there and shock them.
Well. I did talk to Coach Carter over there, Darryl.
Yeah.
And he told me they looked about like Hattiesburg. He said his biggest problem with scheduling this year is after they beat Hattiesburg in the spring game, several people called and canceled them out.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
And it had 2 open dates.
I may not know what I'm talking about, but they ain't going to be like Hattiesburg. They're going to be way better than Hattiesburg. I mean, this team beat the
Well, no, that's what he said
Yeah,
but he said they look like a talent like a Hattiesburg would have.
Didn't McCauley beat one of the top ranked teams in the nation this past week?
They did.
And now they're ranked, what, 4th in the nation?
I didn't see where they were ranked.
I think they're ranked 4th.
Yeah, but most of those private schools. Well, I think this week we got in New Jersey, they got the first and the third ranked team's going to play each other.
John Bosco up there?
Yeah, and somebody else. They're both in New Jersey. Yeah. I saw where they were going to play this week or next week.
We ran into one of them nationally ranked programs one time when we went down to New Orleans and played. Well, who was that we played? I got beat by 17 points. You remember that?
Yeah, and well, they came up here and played at ESPN.
Yeah.
Anyway, we try to forget things like that.
Who's our guest tonight?
We got Robbie Faulk with.
He's been with us before.
Yep, Starkville Daily News, 24/7, Mississippi State.
Hot diggity dog.
Yeah, he's going to fill us in about Mississippi State and what the rest of the season looks like, how they've done up to now.
Okay.
How they played Saturday, and so he's just going to try to fill us in.
Well, let's take a break to hear from a sponsor, and then how about we come back after the break and talk to Robbie? You good with that, Dale?
I'm good with it.
Well, since Dale is good with it, that's what we're going to do. We'll see you folks right after the break with Robbie Faulk. See you after this commercial message.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Robbie Faulk. Robbie, thank you for being with us again today. And we always enjoy talking to you because you're so knowledgeable about Mississippi State. And we'll start off with the football. Let's just start off with what have you thought about the first 4 games that you've seen? Is State going to be able to maybe compete down the road with some of these SEC teams? I know on the schedule, there's a Florida and an Arkansas and people like that. But what are your thoughts about this year's team? It seems like they have more talent than they had last year.
They do, more talent and more depth. pretty much across the board at just about every single position group. And that was the biggest thing for Jeff Lebby in the offseason is, he talked about late last year just not being able to practice how they wanted to practice. And that means you got to kind of backfill the roster a little bit with players. There's got to be players that are going to be third or fourth string that might not help you on the field, but they help you at practice, they help you get better. That's basically what they had to do. I mean, they had to just about build an entire roster in the offseason. Now, there's some critical pieces that are back. Of course, Blake Shapen is back. They have some pieces on the offensive line that played last year, a few guys on defense that are big pieces like Isaac Smith and guys like that. But for the most part, this roster was completely rebuilt in the offseason, and that's kind of the good and the bad of the transfer portal era is you're going to have a lot of turnover on your roster every now and then. The goal for Jeff Lebby is not to go get a new roster every single year. It's to retain. You want to retain and build with what you have and then go from there. But last year's roster was, quite frankly, was so bad, they had to replace a lot of those players. They had to go out and get better players, and they had to build depth. And I think that's certainly changed the trajectory for this team. Now it's about, with this team already being significantly better than it was last year, and they've already won 2 more games than they did last year before they've got to SEC play. Now it's about building on that and seeing how far you can go this year. And at the beginning of the year, I would tell you that it was going to be really difficult to navigate this SEC schedule, and I still think it's going to be difficult. But when you look at some of these teams that preseason, most of us were giving them no chance in these games. Florida on the road. You look at some of these other teams. Arkansas's obviously got some issues right now. The Egg Bowl is what it is. But when you look at these teams and you look at kind of the trajectory of their seasons too, there are some winnable games in there for Mississippi State, like on the road against Florida and on the road against Arkansas and the Egg Bowl and things like that. So we'll see how it plays out, but it's certainly a much better picture for Mississippi State this year.
Well, that's great news for Bulldog fans. Let me ask you about this past Saturday's game. I don't know if State was just kind of maybe overlooking Northern Illinois. I sure wouldn't have been after Northern Illinois pulled that upset at Notre Dame. But they didn't seem to be inspired to play the first half. They played better the second half, but I still think they missed opportunities. I thought Blake at quarterback had a couple that maybe he should have connected with, and deep throws for sure. And he took some hits that I don't know was I guess that he maybe shouldn't have taken because of the fact that if he gets hurt, I know they've got a pretty good talented freshman in the Taylor kid from Noxubee, but that would be a pretty big blow for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You don't want to get him hurt. I think everybody's really excited about Kamario Taylor, but you would like to be at full strength at that position, and you have a fifth-year senior at quarterback who's been through Power 4 conference games. He hasn't played a lot of SEC games, but he's played a lot of games against Power 4 teams and won games against Power 4 teams. He played for and won a Big 12 championship at Baylor. So you want to keep him as healthy as possible and kind of bring Kamario along slowly, although I think he is a special talent both physically and mentally. The way he kind of handles himself, I have no concerns about him if he did come into the ball game. But you want to stay healthy, and to your point, they didn't really play a great game against Northern Illinois. But that's been the message at the press conference on Monday, is that that's kind of the good thing, is that they haven't played great football in the first 4 games, with the exception of probably Alcorn. They played a really good game in that game, but Southern Miss, they weren't great in the first half. Northern Illinois, they weren't great in the first half. Arizona State, they were not great in the second half. This team has a lot more in them, and that's kind of been the positive for Jeff Lebby and his team is they feel like they can do a whole lot more, and they are top 30 in the country in scoring offense and scoring defense. And to say there's more that they can get out of this is a good thing for Mississippi State, something I don't think we could say last year. I think they definitely had a ceiling to them last year, and even if they played a really good game and they played really hard, it was going to be difficult for them to win SEC ball games. I don't think that's the case this year.
Are they at a disadvantage of playing daytime games against some of these quality teams when it's 11 o'clock game or a 2:30 game or something like that, when it's hot and they're playing a Texas or a Texas A&M or an LSU or someone like that that's got so much talent, or Georgia? Are they at a disadvantage for playing day games, or is it better for them to play a night game when it's a little bit cooler?
Yeah, I don't know how much of a factor that is. I mean, I think from a home game perspective, especially early on in the season, you would like to play that one at night. You look at what they got coming up this weekend. Fans really wanted that to be, a late afternoon or night game to get a chance to really build up the atmosphere in the stadium. I think it's still going to be a really good atmosphere on Saturday, but you get out in the heat, and it's a little bit different. People tend to want to leave the game early. It's kind of been, in the past, that those night games have kind of been the more special atmospheres. But I've sat through atmospheres that were, I would consider, some of the best I've ever seen at Mississippi State during the morning. They played Auburn, I think, at 11 a.m. in that 2014 game. They played Texas A&M a week before at 11 a.m. They've played these daytime games before and had great atmospheres. So I don't know who that helps or hurts in particular, but I still expect a really good atmosphere on Saturday.
Oh, most definitely. I kind of bragged on the Mississippi State fans the way they turned out for Arizona State. A team that only won 2 ball games last year, and they were in the stadium ready to roar and everything else, and it was a night game. And but then it was a very disappointing crowd this past Saturday. So crowds do make a difference, and get you excited, and it's just like this week in Athens. Georgia's playing Alabama at night, and I'm sure that was going to be some kind of, if Alabama thought Tallahassee was a tough place to play, they're going to find out Saturday night at Athens is just as difficult, if not more. And LSU and Ole Miss are playing a day game, and I don't think a 2:30 game. I don't think Kiffin's real happy about playing LSU. He won't know why they couldn't play at night, because they play at night every time they go to Baton Rouge, So it may be something to the night games. I'm not sure. If you're just looking around, then I don't know how much you follow the rest of the league as far as their teams and everything, but it seems like a lot of people have caught up with Alabama a little bit because of the NIL. As far as they don't have more talent than most a Tennessee hardly anymore, or an LSU or a Georgia, of course, but they always had top-notch talent back in the day. How is the NIL affected Mississippi State in their recruiting?
Oh, well, I think it was a factor for them in a good way last year in the off season, because they were able to raise a lot of money, and they convinced some players to come out of the portal that normally they probably wouldn't have been able to get without, kind of enticing them with money. And I mean, that's just the nature of the game now, is it's part of the deal. A lot of these kids want to know how much money they can make. And we're seeing it with Texas Tech right now. They've completely changed the outlook of that program from an outside perspective, because they had, a billionaire essentially sell his business, and all of a sudden he's funding their NIL. They're able to compete with the big boys. So that's pretty much, how things have trended, and the traditional powers, it doesn't necessarily work as much in their favor. It's kind of about the opportunities ahead for kids. Playing time does factor in, things like that, but I do think NIL is a factor as well, and State did a really good job of preparing for this roster and trying to build it out in a smart way, and build it out in a way that wasn't so top-heavy with, maybe a quarterback or skilled players or something like that. They address pretty much every single aspect of the team, and a lot of that, like I said, it had to do with NIL.
Yeah, that's about what you got to do. I think Dabo Swinney out at Clemson is finding out that you have to change the way you do business, and the recruiting now. I know Dabo's a great coach, but he's having a difficult year. Do you think it's the Arkansas coach and maybe the Florida coach are on that big of a hot seat right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that they're definitely guys that are kind of on the chopping block. When you are mediocre to bad in this league, you're not going to last very long. And according to Florida standards, Billy Napier's not living up to it. If they're willing to fire Dan Mullen after what he did over the course of a few years, then Billy Napier doesn't stand a chance. Dan Mullen with the 2 SEC championships. So it's kind of hard to fire a coach like Dan Mullen, and then you have Billy Napier come in and he's actually worse, and not expect some changes. So I think they're definitely getting restless over there. I think Arkansas is probably getting to the point where they're ready for a change with Sam Pittman. I mean, it's just been kind of mediocre, not necessarily bad, but just not very good. And it's just they're kind of in that what I call purgatory stage, where they're just kind of stuck in the middle. And to me, that's one of the worst places to be as a college football fan, when your coach is just doing enough to get by, because there's really no excitement generated. You're not making a move because he's doing just enough. It really creates complacency and apathy within the fan base. I think that's getting close to where Arkansas is with him. So it would not shock me if either one of those guys or both are, terminated in the middle of the season. That would not shock me at all.
Rob, this is Marshall. I told you as we in our little pregame interview there that I'd show up, tell them we're out of time, and we have reached that mark. Dale and I want to thank you, and our listeners want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us on the show tonight. Thank you for being with us, Robbie. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to ask you to hold on just a second. Dale and I are going to take a break to hear from one of our sponsors and be back with tonight's final segment of the Brouhaha right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Sports Writer of the Year we just had on, according to Dale McKee. We forgot to mention that, didn't we?
Yeah, he was sports.
Welcome back, everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell us about him, Dale.
Yeah, he was Sports Writer of the Year in Mississippi last year. So
he beat you?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, dang! I tell you, I don't like him.
I don't even think I saw my list. I didn't see my name on the top 20.
Well, Robbie can probably speak for you.
Who?
We'll get Robbie to put a word in for you.
Yeah, yeah.
This may be a cutthroat business. I don't know. He may not want to put in a good word for you.
He may want to win it again.
Hey, let me tell you something. If you ever want a good word put in for you, buddy, you just let me know.
Okay.
I'll throw one in for you.
Okay.
I'll throw you a good word for quick and get ready.
Okay.
Hey, who do you think had the largest TV viewership last week of all the games that was played? Week 3.
I would think it was because when they played, I think it would have been Auburn and Oklahoma.
No.
No, okay.
That's not even on the list. That's not in the top 10.
Well, if I'm watching it, everybody else should be.
Yeah, that's kind of true. You get to, sure, you get caught up in just things. If you like Coca-Cola and everybody does, or, whatever. But anyway, it was Tennessee at Georgia, 12.6 million. Georgia at Tennessee, 12.6 million.
No, they didn't play last week.
Oh, they didn't?
No,
Never mind.
They played the week before.
Oh, that was I said week 3.
Oh, week 3, okay.
Yeah, you weren't listening.
Well, I mean...
We ain't got last week's record to do yet.
Okay.
Dadgummit, I'm trying to run a show
Well,
here. I mean, folks, you see what I got to deal with.
I would have agreed with you in Tennessee and Georgia. Yeah.
Oh.
I get my weeks, 3, 4, high school. I don't even know what week they in. I think 5, isn't it?
I don't know.
They're going into 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to get some officials down there on the coast.
What's the deal on the coast? What do you mean, officials?
Well, making bogus calls against visiting teams and all that.
Well, tell me about that. Did that happen?
I don't know. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, who got the bad flag, man? Was it who got it? Who got the bad flag?
Who got the bad flag?
Yeah, you talking about officiating
Yeah,
problems?
well, it's a visiting team from this area that went to kind of had coastal officials where they played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe at this day and time that people would think that people would not do right.
That's true.
Surely everybody does right.
Well, but I was listening to a Friday night telecast too, and the announcer, who I know really well, go to church with him, he was fussing about an official calling.
Well, it wasn't us.
Yeah, calling a flag on the other side of the field. And he's getting very, very like a preacher would. Like in that last minute, come on down, folks.
I seem like these officials, I seem like I remember a couple of years we were playing in an unknown place where it came to my understanding that the basketball coach for that team was standing he was an official side judge and was calling it from his home side.
Called a touchdown back.
I think it was 2 of them. Hey, I think we may see that. No, let's not go there. We may see them this week. Hey, you ready? Hey, we can get our basketball coach down there and stand on the sideline, I ain't gonna get into that. What else is going on, Dale? Are you having a good Brouhaha day?
I guess.
Anything special? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a little disenfranchised with Arch Manning.
Yeah,
I've been a big Manning fan. Always have been, and I'm not going to turn. But now,
he made a bad decision.
If you're going to play like he's been playing, and then you're going to score a touchdown on who was that? Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
And you're going to get up there and do all that.
Yeah.
Try that against Ohio State and see how it works.
They asked him in a press conference. I don't know if it was after the game or maybe the next day. They asked Arch. They said, did the coaches fussed at you? They didn't have to. My mama called me.
Yeah. He needs to tune that in a little bit. Anything else you want to say? I tell you what, I think we're about out of time. We've had so much fun today.
We have.
Tonight, whatever it is. Is it day or night?
Hey, got some great college football this weekend. Of course, out of the SEC, it's Penn State and Oregon. But in the SEC, we got LSU, Ole Miss, we got State and Tennessee, we got Georgia and Alabama.
Man,
we got Notre Dame and Arkansas. So we got some great games.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a good Saturday.
You gonna watch some football, Dale?
I think I will.
I think I will too.
I think I look forward to Saturday afternoons during the fall as much as I do anything really.
Okay.
Much
as you like being with me here.
I probably like it more than being with you. But you know what? I can turn the sound down or I can turn the channel. I can't do that here.
Well, on that happy note, Dale, I'm glad you love me and all that kind of stuff, but we're about out of time for this Brouhaha. But anyway, Dale, we're going to thank all of our listeners for being with us tonight, as always, and remind you that you can follow us on our Facebook page at the Brouhaha or on our YouTube channel, where all the shows are cataloged, where you can listen to them on demand, and we got some good ones in there, folks, so go check them out sometimes. But for now, it's come that time of the show where we got to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us on out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Dale McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.